Hello, hello. We are live once more. We're back with Lavender Shadows. This is episode 6, by the way, guys. Episode 6. It's pretty crazy. So
I feel like we're gonna catch up to Anno Dominate.
we probably will. I'm still crossing my fingers that we even do Auto Dominate tomorrow, even though everybody seems like we can. I'm just waiting for it all to fall apart at the last minute. Okay. So Josephine and/or Viviane, who do you want to start with?
Well, I have an idea of how to start a scene.
Before then.
Do it.
Jo has been brooding in her room for 3 days.
Viviane just goes to Josephine's room, and shows the letter in her face and signs, "Help me, please."
And Jo's just like holding a book, like
angry, flipping it. Yeah.
And she reads the letter from Matthias, and I know about him, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming that I've talked about him.
Oh,
before.
That's right.
And
that's
yeah.
So I just like look at it, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do?"
I want you to help me find my true love, angry feminist.
Oof. She just says, like, I need you to help me, break it off with Kleber or figure out a way out of that relationship.
I mean, sure, I'll help you do that, but I don't know how.
Well, that's not very
Why
helpful.
do you want to marry anyways? And they're just stupid. Stupid men.
I mean, she just signs, "Not this one," and points to the letter.
They're all the same. Viviane.
So okay, just to step back into the player sphere for just a moment. So Viviane has a belief that says, I will get Jo to help me get out of my relationship with Frederick. And I feel like Josephine is in a very good place to provide opposition for this. So if you both are fine with this, I feel like this scene should end up being like Josephine's like try to convince Viviane or something like to not do this. And Viviane has to there should be some conflict here. Because otherwise Viviane won't be able to get any Arthur for actually completing that goal. So, but it seems like Josephine would push back a bit.
Yeah, I mean, so the problem is that she's not I'll help, because that's the thing though, is that Jo is just like, yeah, okay, I'll help you get out of the marriage. I don't know how, So I don't know if there is any persuasion needed to get me to help, and maybe I should have said that ahead of time. I don't know, but
and if that's the case, then we can change her goal. That's fine. Her belief.
I mean, I don't know, if your goal is to get me to help you get out of this marriage so you can be with this other man, then you got to convince me, because I don't want to. I don't want you to marry anybody,
right? So,
so
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're trying to convince me that this guy is good for you, then you got to make some kind of rule here.
Right, because the whole belief is that Matthias and I are meant to be together. So the first step to that is getting Jo to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think she kind of do I need to make any kind of observation to understand what's going on with Jo, or
if you wanted to roll an
because obviously she's acting kind of differently than usual.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to roll an empathy test, it'd have to be being learned because you don't have the skill. You could attempt to decipher her strange mood, and then that could give you an advantage die if you succeed on it for your eventual persuasion test.
Okay. So how do I roll empathy if it's being...
So go into being learned, add a skill, and type in empathy, and it's based on perception and will.
It's against my will, right?
It is a obtuse test to decipher someone's mood.
Okay. Sure.
What did you say empathy was based off of?
Will and perception. So there's a little box you can check right next to where you would put the first one in to open up another one. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple things you can do here, Viviane. You can do an Ob2 test to just decipher her mood, which would just, if you get above that above the Ob, you'll get an advantage die. Or you could try, again, this is being learned, so this is going to be difficult. But you could also technically try to do, let's see. Yeah, okay. Never mind. The actual, to be able to see her, underlying motivation for all of this, it's way too difficult for you to accomplish as a being learned, so.
Okay.
So that's probably the thing you can do, is just get a general sense of her mood.
Right, and that's all I need, so.
Mm-hmm. So the base Ob is 2.
Okay. Can I fork anything into this?
You cannot fork anything in. You can make a linked test if you wanted to. The only really thing that comes to mind is... technically you can make a linked test with ancient languages to know the exact right signs. Just to be better with communicating with her. That's technically a thing you could do. Or you could do a linked test with astrology to do a brief check of your zodiac signs and just be like, is this a good day to have a conversation with Josephine?
I'll do ancient languages.
Okay.
I'm just so bitter.
Yeah, I think Ob 2 on the ancient languages.
Ooh.
You got a 6, so you can spend 1 or 2 fate if you wanted to. You have plenty.
Yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay. Roll that d6. Greater than 4 exclamation point.
Oh.
All right, no dice. So you will get a penalty, unfortunately, then.
Dang it.
Yeah. So that penalty that was applied after the Ob is doubled. So you're going to put a complication of 1. I believe is how that works.
On the empathy roll?
Yeah, on the empathy roll. You're going to do additional complications, and you should just be able to put in 1 there, and that should increase the Ob by 1 after the fact. So base Ob 2. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can spend two fate if you wanted to roll 2 dice. This is if you
Sure.
So yeah. If you leave it like this, that means you will get a +1 Ob to the persuasion test you'll have to make. So.
Right. Okay. So I'm just doing 2d6?
Mm-hmm. With the same modifiers, yeah. Greater than 4 exclamation point.
Nice.
Cool.
There you go. Yep.
Nice.
You know I'm so bitter.
Yeah.
Richmond.
So you can mark that routine test on your empathy. So the little bubble next to the being learned.
Yeah.
So you need 4 more, and then you unlock it. And then you can mark a fate on ancient languages. And
I already did.
Awesome. Yeah, look at you, Carls. And then 3 on will or perception. Up to you.
Okay.
You haven't been working on it. It really depends on which one you want to focus on, I guess, because you want to be stocking all of your fate on one thing if you can. So
2 or 3?
Sorry, 2. Yeah, you rolled 3 dice. That's because you got a 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I guess make a persuasion check.
Well, yeah, I mean, the purpose of the empathy roll was specifically so that I can specifically so that I can like know what's going on with her.
Yeah.
Or at least see that there's something going on with her.
Yeah, there's something going on with her.
She's not in a normal mood.
She's very bitter. She's not in a normal mood. Something really bad happened, and she's very angry.
Yeah. So Viviane just asks, like, what's wrong with you right now? I mean, she probably says it in... I mean, I guess there's not really a simpler way to say it in ASL than just what's wrong. But, like...
You're trying to be diplomatic about it. Yeah?
Yeah. She says it with a concerned look in her eye.
And then, like, Viviane just, like, breaks, and she's like...
You mean Joe?
Yeah, sorry. Did I say Viviane? Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant Joe. Joe just, like, looks at Viviane and is just like... I'm just mad right now. The men are just awful. They'll never respect us, Viviane. Not the way we should. It's fine. Anyways, you were saying?
Speaking of men.
I mean, I think Viviane just says, you haven't met every man, have you?
I've met enough to know.
Did we already say if Joe had met Matthias or not? Because obviously we communicated somehow when we met.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I must have, at least at one point.
Probably, yeah. Probably at least at one point, briefly.
Even if it was just brief, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, she probably doesn't know him very well, so.
Right.
You remember Matthias? He's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think she says something along those lines of just like, I have a lot more letters from this guy. Like, if you want to read them, I can prove to you that he's not that bad. In fact, he's pretty great.
Abort mission.
Joe's just like, I'm sure you do. I'm sure right now he's fine. He's enough. But the truth is they all will leave at one point. They all become different.
I mean, I think Viviane, in the kindest way that she could possibly say it, just says,
No. If you're gonna win Joe over, you got to be blunt right now. Like, just telling you,
right?
That. Like, and you can, and you know that from that empathy test.
Yeah,
like,
but this is a Viviane way of being blunt. This is like, she normally wouldn't say this, but in this situation, she's like, okay. She's like, how would you know? You haven't been with anyone, at least not that I've known of.
Snap.
You know, Viviane, I almost
She just kind of...
You remember Pascal?
You probably met him once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, she nods and kind of
told
frowns.
Him I'd try. And he didn't even believe me. Anyway, say whatever you want to say.
I mean, I think she just says, like, marriage might not be for you, Joe, but I think it's for me.
Make a persuasion test.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how many things I can.
You could definitely fork in soothing platitudes because you were doing that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else that would help.
This is against my will, right? Persuasion.
Yes.
And then I'll definitely use astrology with this if I need to.
Luckily, her will is only a 3, so.
Yeah, it's not very high.
What's the ob again?
3.
3.
Oh!
No sixes, but you could spend 1 fate to reroll 1 failed dice. It's a 1 in 12 chance.
Oh, did you say that you forked in astrology?
Oh yeah, the astrology die. Yeah, go ahead. And roll that.
Roll that.
It's 1 in 36.
No, because you have to get a success. You have to get a 6, and then you have to get a success.
That's 6. 1/6 times 1/6, not plus. That's probably how probability works.
Okay. Anyways, roll the astrology die.
That's just a 1d6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Nope.
Why have I always been saying that? Nope. So you can still spend a fate.
No, I don't think it would really help.
Well, you spent a fate in persuasion. So yeah. Josephine?
So Joe just says, you don't know that. I will help you with Kleber. I will not help you with Matthias.
She just says, okay.
I'm sorry. That's just something I can't do.
Yeah. Haven't hurt too many times. So, what's the plan then?
Well, I've been spending 3 days bitter and looking over my books.
Oh yeah,
so...
you want to do that?
Yes, I
What's
would
your
like
goal?
to try to uncover something about the ancient language, of course.
Okay, well you can't use the same skills you did before.
No, but I could use history, right, or mythwise, right? Those are my other 2 options.
Or I think you used
no. I used symbology
last time, but you forked in mythwise last time, so you can't use that again.
I can't.
It's bound to the failure because this is the same set of books and you're doing basically the same thing. It's bound to the failure that you got before.
Dang.
Yep.
Brutal.
Basically, you've gone through single thing symbologically and mythologically that you could glean from this.
Gosh, I feel like I did fork in history though last time.
No, I literally just listened to the episode today and you did not. I said mythwise and not history. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and roll a history test. What can I fork in for that?
I don't know. Not symbology, not mythwise. Do you know if you used astrology on that test?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember. I didn't watch the episode back.
Yeah, the ones I know for sure you did were symbology, and I can probably find the test again and see how many modifiers you had, though. Let's see. You had, symbology. You had 4 modifiers on symbology.
Okay, because I might have used one of my persona on it.
You did use one of your persona on it.
Okay, so then what was the other thing? Was it the ancient language that I used, maybe, or astrology?
Oh, you probably forked in ancient languages, yeah.
Okay.
It looks like you did roll an astrology die because you also spent fate, and those were 2 separate things that I can see here.
Okay, so
that means you used mythwise, ancient
language, astrology.
Well, yeah, astrology, but then the 4 modifiers, you only have It's an ancient language.
No, but a persona.
No, a persona is counted differently. It says 4 modifiers, 1 Artha.
Oh.
So myth-wise,
that's
ancient
right.
languages,
Maybe I
foreign
did
languages.
use all
You
of
use
it.
foreign languages too. And I
Oh,
think you
okay.
forked in philosophy, maybe, was your last
Sounds
one?
familiar.
Yeah, I think that's what you did. So you can make a history test, but you can't use any of those forks.
Gosh.
Yep.
I mean, I can't fork and read, can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the only thing I can fork in.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, why not?
Okay, so what's your intent exactly? To find the last piece of the puzzle in the histories?
Yeah, about like
Yeah.
the magic specifically, if I can, like just as a player, I know that, but yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be hard.
Gosh, what's the ob?
Yeah. Let's see. History.
You know what? Actually, before you give me the ob, maybe I should take this opportunity to go talk to Josselin.
Yeah, you can get her to help you with this. Certainly.
Yeah, maybe that might be better.
Sure, yeah.
Entice her with book.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you can be like, come join my secret feminist witch cult, and we're going to learn the secret of magic. Right? Like,
I mean, I don't know that that's what it is yet.
Right, but you could, basically, you could just be like, there are mysteries here, and you and I together, we can discover them, right?
Yeah, no, I would like to invite her over for, like, tea and reading a book.
Sure, yeah. So after you have your conversation with Viviane, do you do this? Okay, so I guess because you sounded like you were like brooding for 3 days. Did this happen before your conversation with Viviane or after?
After.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So you probably.
I mean, I'm still brooding, but like
read
not
over
as
the books
bad.
A bunch of times, right? But they just don't give you any more information. So, yeah. So after Viviane has that conversation with you, you kind of like, all right, I should probably do something with my life, and then you get up and you're like, oh, let's have Josselin over for tea. Okay, yeah, so you guys are in the garden, like usually happens for tea. We see a servant just set down, the tea in front of you guys. And Josselin looks at you, and just kind of with an awkward expression, just like, like takes the tea as it's served, and then just like, nods, and then she hasn't said a whole lot, but she's just kind of like waiting for you to say whatever you're gonna say. So,
I just say, oh, she's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her. Look how cute she is. Why wouldn't Pascal like her?
But the thing is, she has glasses, though, so,
What is that supposed to mean?
I know. It's just
obviously, whenever a character takes off their glasses, they look better.
They look so much hotter.
Right now, she has... No, but literally, in terms of tropes, right now, she has, like, the makeover, right, where it's like even though this actress is like very attractive, like the makeup artists have tried to make her look like as plain as possible and stuff, right? She has her hair in a bun, has little spectacles, and yeah.
Gosh, she's so cute. I could just, oh man. All right. Yeah, I think I just like. What's her last name?
Marchant.
Okay.
Josselin
I just
Marchant.
say, may I call you Josselin instead of like lady?
Yeah.
Marchant.
She smiles sort of shyly and says, "Of course, Josephine."
You can call me Joe.
Joe.
Josselin. That meeting did not go as I had hoped. The other day.
No, it did not.
I think some things were said about me that were very unfair, and I hope you know are untrue.
Absolutely, Josephine. I mean, Joe.
I was quite surprised to hear that you decided to leave the society after what had happened.
Well, I just didn't feel like I really belonged anymore. It seemed
Me too.
obvious to me with what Sir Charbonnier said that neither of us were very welcome.
Fortunately, the truth is, Josselin, that as women, we will never be welcome in a society like that. I think Maxence tried to break down that barrier by inviting me and...
Yeah, he was an ally.
But it wasn't enough. And I think, Josselin, Maxence has trusted me with this, and like she like pulls out like the books and says, and she like puts her hand on it like excitedly and looks at her like, we can decipher this together.
Yeah, and she sort of looks troubled at that. And she says, I don't know, Josephine, sorry, I keep saying that. I don't know, Joe. I don't know if I have I have duties to attend to, and I just don't. And she's just kind of like waffling and just like being like, I don't know. And
so yeah, I'd like to word this as like an ugly truth. Like, if you ever want
right.
to be respected as the scholar you are, you need to join me here.
Mm-hmm.
Because anywhere else, you are not going to be respected because of the men around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ugly truth.
Okay. Trying to think if I can fork in anything here. Can I fork in etiquette for giving her tea?
Yeah, I think so. Sure. Yeah.
You have intimidating?
No. And I'm not being intimidating. I'm just like, hey, like if you want to be respected as a scholar, you got to join me, man.
You're on the edge of that, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of close.
I feel like Josephine, as angry feminist, might eventually unlock intimidation.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else I can fork in here other than astrology, but
yeah, I can add that dice if you want.
I don't know how hard this is gonna be though for me. So
if you wanted to, you can make a linked test with history or philosophy to either dredge up some sort of historical account of like a woman who was, like, don't you remember how this male historian stole this woman's work and like claimed it as her own, and like, or with the philosophy, like bringing up some sort of philosophical treatise about the nature of scholarship, or either of those could be options for linked tests if you wanted to.
Sure. For philosophy, I think maybe I'll just add something like, I know that women like being scholars and like having a place is something new, but so was the philosophy when Thomas Aquinas introduced Aristotle into the church.
Right, yeah. Some sort of equivalent of that. Yeah, sure.
Right,
sure.
some sort of equivalent to that.
Yeah. Sure. Let's see. Okay. Philosophy. What's the up on that gonna be? I think an ob 3 test. Philosophy.
Ooh. Okay. Can I fork in history for that one?
Mm-hmm.
We're like comparing it to something.
And technically, you can add astrology dice that one too if you wanted.
Sure, I'll add it in astrology. Base ob 3.
Yep. There you go. And add that astrology because if you get any more successes, you get an advantage die.
Greater than 4 exclamation point at the end?
Yep.
Nope.
Okay, you technically also have 2 6s, though. So if you wanted to spend 1 fate, you could roll 2 dice.
Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah. Cool. So
I have made this true.
Exactly. Yeah, there was some sort of scholar who introduced some sort of pagan philosophy into the church.
Okay. So that'll give me 1 extra die. Okay. Now I only get 1 extra die though, even though I succeeded over 2.
I think so, yeah. If I remember correctly. Let me double check really quickly.
Just want to make sure, because I think you gave Seth 2, so I just want to make sure.
Let me double check that. Linked tests. I know that's in here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, it's just 1 die, so.
Okay, so okay. Now, since I linked astrology to the link test, can I fork it in for this too, or no?
Yeah, you're fine. It succeeded, so.
Okay, so 2 modifiers.
Then yeah, you can add the astrology.
What's my base
afterwards.
ob for this ugly truth?
Base ob for the ugly truth is... It's based on the difficulty of the truth. So... Okay. Well, it's not ugly truth about a nuanced or delicate situation. It's not ugly truth about a complex political situation. But is it ugly truth about your friends? Or...
I must say it... Isn't it kind of political, though?
Well, you don't want it to be that. That's
oh,
higher.
Okay.
I
mean, I guess she's
I'm going to say ob 3, yeah. Ugly truth about your friends, yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, which one is the easiest? We can argue for it.
Yeah. Okay. Base off 3. Here we go.
There you
Okay.
go. Perfect.
Yeah, I did it.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah. Mark that routine test.
Did I convince her to join?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yay! Something went right in Joe's life.
Yeah, so she nods slowly and she says, I think you might be right. So, as hard as that is for me to realize, I think you're right.
It was hard for me, too, to realize that. I've literally spent the last 3 days thinking of nothing else.
What is it exactly in these books that is so history changing?
I don't know. I can't. Jocelyn, I've been spending 3 days, longer than 3 days. So like a week almost, like trying to figure these books out, poring over them. I can't seem to figure out the symbols, but maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. Maybe I need to be looking at the overall history. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you guys just start like she immediately goes into scholar mode, and you guys just start like poring over these books over tea, right?
Yes.
So what?
I finally have my friend.
Yeah. So luckily for you, guess what skill Lady Josselin Marchant has? Not only does she have obscure history, but she also has ancient history and religious history.
Yay! She's such a nerd.
So this is the thing. I think what's probably going to happen is Joe, you go ahead and add your dice to hers because she's going to have way more dice on this roll than you would.
Okay.
So you're going to give her your general history dice, right?
But then I'm not making the roll though towards this.
Yeah, but you made the roll to convince her to help you, which is enough.
But that was for my other one, though.
Yeah,
that was for my other.
But you made this was all part of multiple goals. Like
okay,
I will give
I just
you that
wasn't
goal
sure if I
sure.
could.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I could like.
You've made rolls to get to the point where you could figure out this detail. So.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. I didn't want to like
jip yourself out. I know.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay, so I'll give her my knowledge of history, and
so she is going to do obscure history-wise, or sorry, obscure history, and then she's gonna fork in. So you're giving her help. She has ancient history. Doctrine could give her stuff here based on what I know this is. Folklore, certainly. Religious history. And saint-wise. And research.
Oh my gosh. She's a genius.
Read, actually.
She's smarter than me. Wow.
She just happens to have a lot of very, very specific academic skills.
Wow. I love this person.
Yeah. Okay.
She better make this.
You know what? I'll have her spend her persona on this because she knows it's important to you.
Yes. Thank you. That's what true friendship is.
Exactly, yeah. She's very inspired by you and your feminism. Let's see.
Now I just got to convince Viviane.
That will be a complete change of character. Man. Viviane would get a deeds point if she joined the feminist witch cult, man. Okay. I gotta find history obs. Okay, this is gonna be very difficult because this is a very specific. Because I know the answer to this, but it's a very, very specific thing. Let me double check real quick. Do you have persona?
Yes.
Let me double check, see if you could spend persona on this. I don't think you can, but I'm just gonna double check because just in case you want to.
I do. Trust me.
Feel like
I want to become a witch.
Exactly. Yeah.
So much. It's like if I fail this, then it's like I don't know what else I could do to figure this out.
Oh, don't worry. I have lots of ideas.
Okay.
It's my job to make sure that dead ends aren't dead ends.
Oh, I thought it was your job to make us suffer.
Yes, but I can't make you. You
That
suffer
too.
less if you just.
You can't
stop.
like dangle something and be like, oh, nope,
Yeah.
you'll never be able to get it.
But that's
Then we'd all just give up and we'd be like,
I mean, honestly, let's be real. If you fail this roll, what probably ends up happening is you get like some sort of corrupted magic, right?
Oof.
Like,
ooh,
Oh no.
I'm okay with that
No.
still. She'll be like, oh yeah, this is how you like heal people when really it's how you kill people.
yeah, they get like a crippling disease. Yeah. And then Viviane gets hurt like in something, and then you try to use it on her, and then perfect. Yes, I can see this now. Anyway, let's see.
No.
That's exactly how it would go, though.
Viviane would be like, your feminism killed me.
I'll be like, oh no, I was the monster after all.
Let's see. Roll. Okay, the description of spending persona is a player may choose to spend up to 3 persona points on a skill or stat test. Each point spent grants a bonus die to roll on the test. The boon must be announced before the dice are cast. The wording on it doesn't necessarily seem to suggest that it's not that it's an option, or that it's not an option. Only issue is when you spend a persona, it goes on a
right.
Would
it go towards? Well, would it go
And so
onto my
that's-
history since I'm giving it to her? Like since I'm also doing that.
I don't think so. Let me do a quick Google search.
Okay.
Can you spend persona on another person's player's role? I feel like there's a forum out there that will explain this. Burning wheel. Doesn't look like there is. any things that come up immediately. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's okay. I'll save it for something else.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay. So she's spending 1% at least. The op on this is going to be 7.
Oh my gosh.
So,
what?
Yeah.
How is it so high?
Because this is lost in the distant past.
Okay.
Look,
Oh,
this is the magic.
she has
my
5
God.
6s.
Whoa.
All right.
Spend a fate!
Yeah, she only has 1.
Oh my gosh.
So she'll spend that and roll her 5 6s.
Gosh, I swear, she gets none of these?
There you go. That's all. She only needed 1. So.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys spend the afternoon and the evening and the next day, just like most of the night probably, just like in a frenzy of scholarship, right? She goes back to her estate. She grabs books. Like you guys, like just go crazy, like researching all of this stuff.
Yay!
And I think what happens is, you keep running across any of the... Okay, so you run across in one of her obscure history texts, you run across an account of someone transforming another person. This is like a folklore thing or whatever, right? Transforming another person into like an animal, right? And the description of the description of what the person does to trigger the transformation was vague. The description was vague enough that it was hard to miss what exactly was happening, but in reference to when you compare it, this is what I'm thinking of. When you compare it side by side to some of the weird signs that you've been looking at, you realize that the person did the sign, right? That would transform the weird sign version of that, right? They did that to this person, and you can tell that the way it's worded, it just kind of triggers your memory like that. And you're like, okay, wait a second. I think this person is like actually using this sign, and it's doing some sort of effect. And then you start seeing multiple accounts of the way that it's worded in the old language was obscure and hard to understand, but once you kind of like have that in mind, you start seeing reference after reference of these people basically making somatic gestures, right, to cause magic to happen. And you start connecting it to these weird folklore accounts of like transformations and people, dying suddenly because I don't know, they're like I'm asphyxiating or something, and they just fall dead. Like someone does this to them across the room. But the one thing that connects all of the stories, because some of it's like, these like old saints of the Sacraic Empire. Some of them are just like, old hermits or something. It depends on the story. They all have one defining feature, some sort of infirmity, whether or not it's they're missing a limb, or they're missing, like they are, they have like a blood weakness, or it literally,
or if they're deaf.
I can use magic.
They're deaf.
Heck yeah.
So Jocelyn can't, or not Jocelyn. Jocelyn and Joe couldn't use this magic, but
possibly
Viviane can.
And as players, we are all seeing that very clearly now. Whether or not that's like super clear to Joe, you're still looking at this from a scholarly perspective. You don't know what any of this stuff would do, or like, and you're also coming across the fact like basically what's staring you in the face is, hey, magic existed, and you can use sign language to do magic, and you're just like, should I believe this? Yeah, exactly, right. Like, was Maxence literally just chasing after ghost stories and just like wanted to believe that magic existed? Like,
should test my theory.
You certainly could try.
Maybe another time I'll test it.
Just give Viviane, hey, can you do the sign for me?
Hey, do this. This might be able to fix all your problems.
Or it might kill you.
Just change him into a pig. You'll be fine. Wow.
Yeah, and so Josselin looks at you after this like night of frenzied study, and she says, "Joe, is this saying what I think it's saying?" And she like looks at like the reference notes that you guys have been taking like the whole time in these notebooks.
And I'm just like, Josselin, I think it is. Wow.
Well, then...
I mean, it's common knowledge that they had stories of magic, but I never imagined that they could have been real.
Well, how do we know that they are real? Exactly.
We test it.
And yeah, she raises her eyebrow. She takes off her spectacles and just like, Joe. She says,
I know the language.
Yeah. She says, Josephine, we're treading into dangerous territory here. You do remember that all of the magic users of the old empire were burned as heretics when the new religion took over.
Oh.
I'm not saying we need to go out into the open and just start casting off fireballs at people. Just a little test, Josselin, for scholarly purposes.
For science.
Yeah.
For science.
She says, so you're saying we find someone who has an infirmity and we get them, and then she looks at you. Oh, Joe, no.
I'm just like, well, luckily I've been teaching somebody with one.
Josephine, you do realize what you would be doing to Viviane. You would be opening up something horrible. Doesn't she have enough problems already? And she goes through, she grabs one of the texts and like flips it to some page, and she's like, right here. The magic users, the sorcerers, something happened in the past, Joe. Something happened in the past to make all of this go away. And it's vague, but it seemed like a disaster of some sort of cataclysm. We don't know what's going to happen if we make Viviane open that door again. Maybe it was closed for a reason. And Joe's like, feminist witch army, take over the world.
Yeah. I mean,
Joe,
but
thing
she
that comes to
here.
your mind. Another thing that comes to mind. You could give yourself an infirmity.
I know, that's literally what I was thinking. I was like, I could literally just like make myself go lame.
Yep.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm like, I could just give myself a wound. Oh man. How demented would I have to be to do that? Yeah, I think because I mean, Joe is not unreasonable. She's like, no, you're right. Like, I don't want to put Viviane in danger because she loves Viviane more than like she loves anybody.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what? You're right. We're tired. Let me think this over for the next couple days.
Let you take this over for the next couple days? Okay. I feel like that's a test of some sort because I feel like I know what you're trying to do.
No, she's serious. She's like, let me just think about it.
Okay. Because I think to Joss, okay, so she says to you, she looks at you and she says, Joe, you're not going to do something that you'll regret. Right? Right? Because she's worried now about leaving you, and then you're gonna go crazy and be like, I have to have magic.
I must have it. I don't think Joe's gone that crazy yet.
No, but Josselin is starting to be worried. I just realized you guys could both be called Joe.
Mm-hmm. Joe 1, Joe 2.
Joe 2, yeah.
I would probably call her like Lynn or something like that. Just Lynn, right? I don't know.
Joss Whedon.
Or Joss, or something like that. I'm like, Joss.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Director of Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, she's just like, so what? We just started down this trail just so that way we could just stop here?
No, Joe. I'm just worried that if I leave, that you're going to get yourself.
I promise I will not do anything.
Right.
And she's being serious about that.
Yeah, and she says we should decide this together. Whatever we do decide.
Yes.
And she's like stands.
Joe's not totally sure about that. No.
Do you want to make falsehood there?
I mean, she's serious. She's serious about I won't do anything for a while. I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah. We
but if I come to this conclusion, I'm doing it without your.
Right.
Like, oh,
but you'll at least not do anything before you guys have a chance to talk again.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Joe, like Josselin, stands up and kind of like unwrinkles her dress and then looks at you and says, crap, what was she gonna say? What was the last thing that you said?
That you have my word. I will not do anything.
Right. Yeah. And I think she says, she says, I'm glad that you wanted me to be a part of this. I feel like on your own, Joe, I think you need help. I think you need people by your side. And and she holds
to say.
Yeah, she says, I think together we can accomplish something great. Just don't get ahead of yourself, Joe. You're brilliant. But sometimes I don't think you think things all the way through. And then she blushes as if like, oh, did I just say that out loud? And then she kind of like, I'll let myself out. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, she just says, Josselin.
Yes.
Your honesty is always welcome and appreciated here.
Good. And then she
I'll
nods
see you later.
Yeah.
Oh, and please tell the whore I say hi.
Oh, right. Yeah. I totally forgot. Yeah, she blushes again. As of like, why did you have to remind me of that fact? And then walks away.
Okay, the other seat I have in mind is I would like to seek out one Marcou Tisby.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Where is this exactly? Set the scene for us.
I mean, I don't mind going to the Opera House. It's fine. I've been cooped up with the house for the last like 4 or 5 days.
Sure.
So.
You guys are in the storage room, I guess. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
I would like to go to him to inquire of his investigation towards Mr. Klebers. This has nothing to do with my beliefs. I just really want to do this.
Okay.
Does she know about me investigating Klebers? I forget.
Yeah, you told me during the party. You were like, yeah, I'm kind of investigating him. What do you know about him?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if he's found anything so that way I could help Viviane here.
Yeah.
I might need her to do my witch doctor magic.
Exactly. You'll be like, Viviane, I'll help you with everything as long as you help me test this magic.
Dear.
I just have written down, Joe thinks it is a little odd but reasonable that Maxence left behind nothing to anyone else besides my uncle and her. What exactly did I find from you? Knows that I found that knows that Maxence knew Klebers, but they weren't close. Did I tell you that I was
that they're cousins? Yes, you did, because you asked me. You were like, "What do you know about him?" And I was the one who told you that I thought it was weird, or that I've been hearing that it was quite odd that he had received 2 inheritances within like a month. I was the one who gave you that tidbit. So
okay, I didn't remember that part. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I would like to go and see how your investigation is coming along to see if I can dig up any dirt and help her get out of this marriage.
I mean, Marco definitely has some dirt for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I did say I wouldn't tell anyone who told me this information.
Yes. So you should totally tell me that he had a child out of wedlock.
Probably as soon as I this probably just as an aside thing, probably as soon as I found out this information, I did go to my uncle like, yeah, you were right. It happened. Like, I'm not gonna say who it was.
Yeah. He doesn't
out of
care,
respect.
So.
Yeah, and he's probably like he's like whatever. Like I was like, I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't know.
As long as I'm not the father.
It wasn't. I'd be like, I beg your pardon?
Just a little joke, Marco.
I mean, I know it's a joke. Can I just?
Do you want me to make a falsehood test for him?
Yes, please.
Because it's obviously a lie. So.
What's that against?
You're making. I think falsehood is just against your will, like a base.
Okay, then it's 4.
Yeah.
It makes sense because it's perception.
No, it's based against your will.
Okay.
Because you're trying to, I think this is probably a believable lie, right? Like you probably wouldn't expect him to be to actually be the father of one of these.
Oh no! But the fact that he said it, I'm like, wait, why did he just say that?
Right, and so my question. This is a question for you. Is it more believable that this would be a joke to you?
I feel like it would be. I mean, I don't know.
I'm lobbying for an advantage dice for him, basically.
Here's the thing. Here. I'm trying to think. I don't want to. At this point, Mark. Well, let's look at my traits. Let me see. What does shrewd exactly mean?
I mean the definition of the word.
Case.
You're it's just a thing that's true about your character, right? So.
Okay, yeah. Just I don't know if there's a specific definition.
Or showing sharp powers of judgment.
I don't know if that helps me figure out if I would think it's a joke or not.
I mean, probably. Basically, just asking, is it a believable lie to you?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Okay, then let's just say no.
Because at this point, he's suspicious. Like, just the fact he would say that would immediately set off, like, everything. So he'd be like, oh, he did.
He succeeded. Yep.
Darn.
Yep.
He just tried. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to go to the opera house and seek out Marco Tisby.
Would this be the same day or?
It'd probably be the day after because
okay.
I've spent the day with Josselin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, Marco Tisby.
Yes. I'd be like, I don't know where exactly I'd be. I'd probably be like going through papers or something at the opera house. Okay. Yes.
Hi, it's
Joe, right?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Can I help with anything? This is what he's like, do I have to tell this another person I'm married?
Right, it's just fresh on your brain. You're just like, please don't.
I don't think you need to worry about that with Joe.
Oh, I know. It's just like, oh, what now?
I just wanted to come by and see how the investigation is going.
It's going. What would I be trying to find right now? I'm trying to think.
I mean, I would assume that probably your next step would be to like set up some sort of maybe appointment with either like someone who works for the Klebers, or maybe even just going and talking to one of the Klebers themselves and trying to get more information on it if you want to like press that far. It's just up to you.
Probably what I'm doing is I'm looking through different contacts that my uncle has to try and figure out who could I ask that would
know the Klebers.
Would know the Klebers, the most information, yet would not get me in trouble.
Sure, yeah. So you're gearing up to make a circles test here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, would it be gearing up for me to make the circles test or him?
Oh, you want
the fact that he
Bertrand to make the circles test?
Well, the fact that he would know someone that would fit those requirements.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Okay.
I'm sure he'd be willing to help you with that. Yeah.
Anyway, we can get that later.
Mm-hmm.
It's going. I'm just looking for the next lead, I guess you could say.
Oh, so your lead is no longer Claiborne?
Not that quite. More so, I'm looking for
an avenue to approach them. Like,
yeah, I'm looking for a way to talk with them. Maybe talk with someone who might know a little bit more information.
So you are still investigating Kleber.
Yes.
Have you discovered anything new from what I've told you?
Well,
listen, Mr. Tisby, I'll just be blunt with you right now. Not only do I have personal stake in this because Maxence was my friend, but now I am trying to detach somebody else from Mr. Kleber, you see. And so this has a very personal attachment for me.
Just a quick note, there is no N at the end of Kleber.
Kleber.
So,
sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I kind of would put together. Would this be the young miss he was with the other day?
Yes.
How much? And it's like that's the same person who like tried to help me, didn't work.
Well, she helped you figure out that it was poison.
No, that's true. That's true. I just
she tried to heal you. So
I know. That's probably the first thing. Like, oh yeah, her. He kind of looks like
yeah. The festering wound still healing on your leg.
Yeah. He's always like, I was like, she was like an okay. She's like she wasn't actively harmful. Like she actually tried to help me. He's just kind of thinking through in his head, like, how much do I want to help? How much?
You look at a person like Viviane, and you're like, she's not actively harmful.
Whatever. He's like,
she's a complete sweetheart or anything.
No, I just meant like, I was like, she's the reason this is stopped working, but she didn't try to do that. That's kind of what stopped us. Like, he's just kind of thinking through things of what to say. It's like, he'd probably like kind of take the folder he has kind of folded up. It's like, well, did find out one thing. How would he word this? I did find that he liked to be familiar with certain staff at the opera house here.
Oh?
Yes, actually before I said that, he'd probably say like, can I trust this won't come back to me?
Certainly.
Kind of like he's like I know. It's like looking back at his wound. He's like I don't need to know.
I was gonna say like, yeah,
okay. He's just like I don't want to get on. I don't want to make this even worse for me at this point. I was like, he would say like that he like to get familiar with people at the opera house. There's a certain miss I spoke with earlier today. From the sounds of it, how is he? Probably just to not implicate himself in saying it exactly. He's like, there's a certain miss here that may or may not have a child because of him.
Oh.
It's just a rumor, though.
Hint, hint, Ned.
And Joe's just like,
a bucket's worth of gold, worth of a rumor.
Yeah, probably. I would probably mumble that in my breath. A bucket worth of gold of rumors, or something like that.
A rumor worth a bucket full of gold.
Yeah.
Interesting. And we don't know who this lady is, just that she works here.
I don't know her name.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tisby. That's very helpful. Thank you. And if there's any way I can be of service to you in helping you infiltrate the Klebers, please let me know.
That's a good point right here.
I mean, Josephine, you could certainly you're a
Can I make a circles test?
Who would be better at it? That's the real question.
I mean, even Josephine could even just add a dice to the circles test.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm probably explain I'm looking for someone who might know more information, maybe be able to confirm any rumors that may be going around.
So I think
of course,
I think maybe the person you're looking for, right, would be like the steward of the state that they live in, right? Like if you can get in contact with that guy, like the chamberlain or whatever, right, who's like knows all the dirty secrets, but like that's probably the person you're looking for.
Yeah.
Ideally.
So like, would you happen to know if any of these people would be her? Obviously, to clear a name.
Obviously. Joe likes Mr. Tisby. Even though she don't like men, she likes Mr. Tisby. He's all right. All right. Do I roll a circles test and then he's giving me a
so
die,
you're just giving a dice. Oh, by the way, you can mark a routine history test if you need it because you helped with
oh, right. Yeah,
her test before.
I do need it, in fact.
Oh, I think I missed where some of my fate are supposed to go. We can deal with that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just adding a die to his circles test?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I think the ob for this is going to be an ob 4. Well, there you go. Wow.
Okay.
That was such a good roll. So you can mark a routine on your circles as well, Josephine, if you need it.
Oh, sure. Great. I do, actually.
There you go.
I only need 1 difficult or 1 challenging, then I upgrade.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, Mr. Bertrand Crozier's contacts, right? He knows the steward of the Kleber household.
Wait, I've never upgraded circles.
You have. You started with a 1.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, we had this conversation before,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Because you started off with 3 will, which means you had half of that rounded down for circles. So, cool. So, yeah, the steward of the household. You can get in contact with him, and he'll be amiable to you, right? He'll want to talk to you. So let me generate a name real quick for him. And yeah, are you gonna like meet him at the estate or whatever, or somewhere else?
Probably not at the estate after, because I was told. Well, if I remember right, Kleber did not want to see my face again.
Very true.
I just wrote down he gets rude and in my face, but I'm pretty sure he said he didn't want to see me. Maybe we could have him meet. Maybe we could have him meet us here at the Opera House.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you could even have him meet at Viviane's place if like there's a connection, and you could just come there. If you don't want to be, if you want to be like inconspicuous about it.
That would be the most inconspicuous, probably.
That actually would be true.
Yeah.
That would be true.
Right. So maybe Josephine, you just know him passively and you invite him over, like maybe
maybe that's how I contribute is I just write the letter to invite him over.
Maybe like at the behest of the Augustes, right? Like the Auguste family invites you over for dinner or whatever. Want to give you our hospitality sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. So, Marco, you happen to be, you're just sitting at like a luncheon basically with this guy. So his name is Talbot Robillard. So Mr. Robillard. And
tell me about it.
I was going like halibut, but couldn't figure out how to work that in.
Okay, so he is a balding man. He has kind of like gray hair, kind of wiry. He is kind of almost like perpetually squinting, and he
but like that guy from The Princess Bride who's like really short.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that guy, except a little bit older, like 50s, 60s kind of. And so he takes a goblet of wine and drinks from it. That's the first shot we get, and then he puts it down, and then he says, and so is Josephine, are you in the lunch?
I mean, I think I have to be if I am the one who invited him.
And maybe just for, I think the way that this would be made most plausible is if Viviane probably is at this luncheon too, just because like you probably phrase it as like the Auguste family would like to invite you over, like
right.
And so if Viviane, like the parents don't have to know about this, but if Viviane's there, that's so it's maybe not exactly what he was expecting, but it's the etiquette of the situation still fits. So he didn't lie to him is basically the idea, right?
Right.
And so he looks at you, Marco, and then says, "So, I gather that you are really the one that I am talking to today.
Oh, and this whole time, I just want to be like signing to Viviane. Kleber has a kid.
What? You just say that?
No, she signs it.
Right, I know. You just.
I mean, I probably would have told her before the lunch.
Yeah.
But
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because.
Real quick, let's get an introspection here. How is Viviane feeling about that?
I mean, she's like, oh crap. I mean, I didn't want to marry him, but I didn't think he was that bad of a guy. Wow.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, she's
welcome.
Like, shocked, but also kind of thankful that like, there's a legitimate reason for my parents to maybe not want us to marry.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So he says that to you, Marco, and what do you say?
Wait, this guy is what is his?
He's the steward of the estate, of the Klebers estate, right? So he's the guy who like manages the household servants and stuff.
And I'd probably be like, be kind of coy, like, what do you mean? We're all just here having conversation.
Yeah, and he shrewdly kind of like looks at everyone and says, everyone knows that the daughter of the August family isn't one for conversation.
Wow.
And I think he says some of that. I think he says some of that while like holding up the glass.
So I can't read his lips.
So you can't read his lips. Yeah.
Sure.
But Joe, you heard it.
I wasn't listening to what he said.
So Marco was like, "We're just here for conversation," and then the steward said, everyone knows that the daughter of the August family is not one for conversation.
I'd go like, Joe here can translate quite well for her if she would.
All
like
right,
to
then.
speak.
What does the lady Viviane Auguste need of me? And like looks pointedly at Viviane. Like, we're gonna play this game. We're gonna play this game.
I didn't ask for this.
Marco, you could just pipe in and be like, okay, I get it. Like,
I was like, okay.
If he just stares
Appreciate
Like,
it.
like
okay.
a deer in a headlight.
Like, okay.
like I just want a garden.
Yeah.
We were just all curious to hear a little bit more about Lord Frederick Kleber. That's all.
I'm sorry. This situation seems very suspicious. Who are you exactly, Mr. Tisby? What is your relation to all of this?
I just kind of look at Joe, kind of get like do I go for it?
I mean, like, she's like, I don't know what else you want from me. Like, I set this up for you.
And I was like, I thought we were gonna get him drunk first. I mean,
Nice.
is that a valid option of just getting him drunk?
Yeah, you want to try to steer the conversation so that you can just butter him up and get him drunk. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like that would be a thing that you would have told Josephine about beforehand, and this would be Josephine probably making an etiquette roll to do that, right?
Because I could do that. We could try this now, but it's gonna be a lot easier if he's toasted.
Yeah.
I could make an etiquette roll. I don't know if it's gonna go over very well, but we can.
Well, if
try
it doesn't go over well, then I'll just go.
So like, I just like keep like pouring the wine like subtly.
Yeah.
Can I hick in like inconspicuous with it?
Sure.
Okay, and sleight of hand.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What is
You know what you actually wait a second. You know what actually would be maybe more effective?
What?
Viviane has a whole garden of interesting things.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's true.
Yes.
What
Right?
would it take to convince Viviane
Exactly.
to help you with that?
Yeah, you'd have to have
I
a
mean,
conversation with Viviane.
If you just randomly, in conversation earlier, asked her about the plants, then she would be happy to ramble about them. But, like, if she knew that you were planning on doing this, she probably wouldn't have.
You want out of this or not?
I want out of this marriage.
I'm just saying, it's out of character for Viviane to willingly give information that will help you drug someone.
Very, very true.
Quote of the night.
That's saying I do have the skills to do that.
You also have the skills to poison someone.
We're not gonna do that. We're not killing anybody.
No. That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if Joe would go that far, like to like.
I'm just saying.
I don't think so, because like the etiquette thing can just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you didn't want any more wine. Whereas it's
exactly.
Like, what do you mean? I didn't poison. I'm not drinking your drink. Like
sure.
that just be
so make
like,
that etiquette
Joe is not going to stick out her neck that much for this.
That would be super funny though. I kind of would.
It's gonna be an ob2 etiquette roll.
Okay.
Am I helping at all? Given I'm
That's
kind of.
Okay. We got
it. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Mark that routine etiquette.
I'm just pouring that wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so you guys managed to stall enough in the conversation by just continually being like, we shouldn't talk until the meal is over, and here, have some more wine. That by the time you actually get around to talking, he's definitely tipsy. And so, yeah.
He's not Tisby, he's tipsy.
Yeah, Marco is Tisby, he is tipsy. So Marco, how do you like begin the part of the conversation where you're actually interrogating him then?
So I'll be like, so I'm sure you have plenty of interesting stories about the Kleber family.
I suppose I have a story or two, yes. Probably should share a few of them around Miss Auguste here. They are getting married after all.
I mean, she can't hear. Joe doesn't have to translate anything.
he kind of hiccups and then chuckles. I suppose. And so he starts to like ramble about some like innocent stories of like, oh yes, and one time he ran out into some nobleman's garden naked at the age of 5, and like that sort of thing. But if you want him to like spill the juicy secrets, there's a roll involved.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me keep taking notes. I forgot. Get him tipsy, so he'll give us info. What kind of roll will it be?
It depends on how you're going about it. Probably persuasion.
Persuasion is what I'm best at.
Yeah, so you'd probably just have to steer the conversation in such a way that you're like, oh, it would be in your best interest to tell us an interesting story about.
Do I? Okay, two questions.
Really spill the goss here.
One, when do these F and P, the fate and persona things, when do those actually do something? Because I have like 6 and 3. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, let's see. They won't actually do anything until you get a deeds point, so you honestly don't need to worry about it until then. But once you get a certain amount of all 3 types of Artha, then you shade shift those things.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, 5 fate points, 3 persona points, and 1 deeds point is the first level of it. The second level is 20 fate points, 10 persona points, and 3 deeds points.
Okay, so that's not gonna help at all. First, I'm gonna try and do the health thingy. That's a 4.
Yeah. You got a 6. Spend 1 or 2 fate.
Is it gonna be more helpful to? Part of me was wondering if I might as well do it, but then I only have 1 fate for later.
Yeah.
I'll try for 1 so I can have 2 fate points for later.
Oh, there you go. Nice. So you can.
Okay.
So basically, just add another modifier whenever you.
Okay, so this is gonna be persuasion. Could we? What could I do? So that was 1 modifier already.
You can get another modifier for him being drunk.
Okay, it's 2 modifiers. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
Could I possibly do inconspicuous since I'm being kind of trying to trick you that already kind of persuade?
I think that's fine. Yeah.
And then I don't know if there's anything else I could really do.
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 modifiers. So that's 9, which will be brought down to 8, which still isn't bad. And then what's the ob?
It's gonna be an ob 4.
8, 4 is not bad. It's better than a coin flip. Okay. Dang it. Okay, but I have 2.
Yeah. You're gonna spend 2 fate?
Yes,
Nice.
which is why I didn't do it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I can do? I don't think so.
Wait. But didn't he succeed because he doesn't have the wound?
He already added another modifier into.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I had an. So there's
Yeah.
there was the one modifier for
Yep.
that, one modifier for him being drunk, and then
one modifier for the inconspicuous. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's correct. There you go. You only needed 1.
Oh wait, I only rolled 1. So I have a fate left accidentally.
No, because you if you said you spent it, then you spent it, and you'd roll another die, and then we'd see it. But it wouldn't matter because you'd succeed no matter what. You said you spent 2.
I could have rolled it again if I'd needed to, so that's true. Will it affect anything will it affect if it was any higher?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, then I won't bother.
Yeah. So what do you say exactly to get him to actually like dish the goss here?
I'd probably say, probably just wants to be like, what's the craziest story you have? But I'm trying to think if there's a better way to word that.
More subtle than that, yeah.
Well, maybe do I just okay? What do you guys think of this? What do I say? Like, I've even heard there's some rumors about something at the opera house. Would that be a little too much, or what do you guys think? I don't know.
One of the things that comes to mind as like a possible point of emphasis is to be like, all right, now we got the the tame stuff out of the way. Like, here, I'm gonna come sit down next to you, and here, like, this is just the man talk now. Like,
okay,
what's the stuff that like only us men would understand, right?
Okay, I'll go with that.
Like infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like
that's the idea.
So probably scoot closer to him and say like, okay, come on, like the girls don't have to like hear all of this. Like what's the guy stuff,
Is it basically like maybe it's the part of the dinner where the genders like actually like go into the separate rooms like in Downton Abbey where it's like the different drawing rooms where they like the guys smoke and drink and the girls like chat. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Like literally, the 2 of them left to like go freshen up, and I'm like, okay, now that they're gone, like let's get like the really juicy ones.
Yeah. I like that. And he says, well, there's one thing I suppose that. Now, this isn't going to go any further than the 2 of us, right, Mr. Tisby?
What could I say that would get me past this?
It wouldn't have you make a falsehood test. I mean, you already succeeded, so like, you don't have to be too crazy about this, but.
I won't say anything. I'll just grab the wine bottle and just pour it in.
It's like, cheers.
Yeah, exactly. And he just nods. He nods to himself.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, nods to himself, drinks more, and then he says, well, a few years ago, I think about 5 or 6 maybe, the young lord, he liked to go gallivanting about the town. And one of the places that he liked to frequent was the Harmony Opera House. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's the best opera house in the city, hands down. And I seem to remember a time when the young lord, well, he always had a fondness for some of the dancers there, and he, well, I am the steward after all, and I do keep many secrets. And one of the secrets that I've kept is when he brought that young lady to the estate. I didn't tell a soul. And now you won't tell a soul. And he drinks more.
Technically, he didn't tell me anything that was new.
Yeah. And the young lord is always... Well, he's always confided in me. And as the years rolled by, as the months rolled by, he apparently got news that the young lady was pregnant. We covered it. Was all hush-hush. We covered it all up. Me and him, we're friends. We trust each other. And so, it would never get out to the light of day. It's untraceable. He like sloshes some of the wine as he says it.
I just kind of push a point, just to as a curiosity. I'm like, I mean, what kind of things could happen if something like that got out?
Oh, I suppose any number of broken ties to noble houses, loss of influence. I mean, the Kleber family wouldn't go under or anything, but if definitive proof could be found, well, it would certainly be an embarrassment. But, of course, discreet gentlemen like ourselves know that in cases like this, we all protect each other's secrets. We all have something.
And as he's saying this, I'm just pouring him more wine. Yeah. I'm trying to get him.
We all have, as men, we all have something about a woman that we wouldn't want the other women in our life knowing about.
Just as a side note, like player note, you should ask him about like, oh yeah, and you know what? I've also heard rumors that like the wife and husband didn't get along.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good point. Like he's like, oh yeah, I actually.
Oh yeah, like I'm sure, like, I don't know.
Yeah, something on.
Well, going off of what he just said, right? He was like, there's always something in our past as men that we wouldn't want the other women in our lives knowing about, and then that's a good point to be like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you have similar stories about his father.
And do I? I've known the Kleber family for quite a few years, and well, the further back you go in the history of the Kleber family, the darker the secrets get. The darker the secrets get.
Darker than infidelity?
I think I've had far too much wine for one day. Seems my lips are growing far too careless. Let's pretend I never said anything, Mr. Tisby.
I mean, now that you have this friendship, you can always call on him later.
Mm-hmm.
But
get him drunk again.
You'd be fine with that.
And then say like, well, if you ever want to talk anymore, what could I use to accentuate this? No, I don't really have anything on me. I probably just.
You don't have a bucket of coins anymore.
No,
so.
Here's what I'd probably do. I'd probably like pick up my glass that I haven't drank out of at all. So like, well, if you ever want to talk more, clink the glass. Let me know.
Yeah. He nods. Well, it was a very pleasant conversation, I must say. Sometimes it can get very lonely being the master of a household, and you always feel like you're above everyone. And of course I am above everyone else, but
I'm sure
the servants. But it's nice to just have maybe someone that's as a peer that I can speak with. What did you say you did again?
A friend of the family.
Didn't
say which family.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not sure how many more of those Kleber has these days.
Friends?
Relations.
Doesn't get along with people too much?
I feel like young Lord Kleber might be able to turn around the family's legacy, but yes. There's been let's just say the patriarchs of the Kleber family have never been popular among the nobility.
Okay, I'm gonna push a button. Well, certainly he's going to be far more popular now, inheriting many estates so soon within each other.
He will certainly have more influence. That's very sure with inheriting his father's estate well before his time and having such powerful connections to the August family. Well, I can see that if young Lord Frederick Kleber plays his cards right, he could be the most important nobleman in Anasteire, maybe in all of Auvergne.
Yes. Wait.
Except for the king, of course. But
probably. I'm trying to remember the relation between him and. He was cousins with.
So he's a cousin to the August family, and so when Maxence, who was also a cousin,
Maxence, right?
When Maxence died, he became the heir of the estate because of male inheritance laws and stuff. So
yeah, I would say like especially with the most recent passing of Maxence and him being the heir now.
Exactly. Now he might have gotten a sizable portion of the estate if he had just married Viviane, but with the marriage, cementing alliances with those who liked the August family, and with the actual capital that the August family inheritance will provide, he will be a powerful individual indeed. And it will be an honor for me to serve him.
and keep on keeping those secrets.
And keep on keeping those secrets.
I just imagine him saying that going.
But it is far too late. And he looks at like the clock, like the grandfather clock in the corner of the room, and he says, "It is actually far too early to be as drunk as I am, but I don't suppose you have a drawing room that I can lie down a bit in before I."
Oh, I'm sure we can find something here, and
that would be nice.
Let me go find someone that can bring you somewhere.
Yeah, and so we just get a shot then of him just like snoring on a couch somewhere. And yeah,
and probably like go to the door, the direction they came from, and like find a servant. Like, could you take care of him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the assumption was you already did that, and he was led to some couch somewhere, and he was.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I go find Joe and Vivi.
Mm-hmm. Anything you needed to talk to them about, or just like?
I was just gonna essentially tell him like he leaked like a sieve.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it might be good to have that conversation a little bit, just because Viviane can probably like verbally process a bit more of like everything. Mm-hmm. So basically, you're like, yeah, it's true. Like it's definitely true.
Yep. So I go to them like everything we thought and more. It seems was true.
So, yeah, Joe's just like. I think she just signs to Viviane. I don't think she says this to Marco, but she's like, do whatever you want with that information.
I still
tell your parents.
I'm still not sure if this ties him to Maxence. He didn't seem to give any indication that something happened there, but he did seem to insinuate that the family has a dark past. And from the sounds of it, it would be within tradition to keep it.
I mean, yeah, but Joe, you pretty much know that like all noble families have a dark past.
Right. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, that's nothing I knew.
Yeah.
It's not really much more to add. Like, obviously, he doesn't have many friends, and from the sounds of it, they might have guessed that already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Tisby, and I hope that was what you needed for the investigation.
I hope it was too.
So, yeah. So now she just like starts conversating with Viviane.
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, I'd kind of go back and grab the bottle. Mind if I take the last of this?
Go for it.
Good. I've been thirsty. Haven't drank a drop.
You just walk out of the room like drinking straight from the bottle.
Well, no, he's just gonna take it back as like a little celebration.
Got it.
Because he didn't have any of it.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be sharp and everything, and not have a chance. So he's thirsty. He had the whole meal without anything to drink.
Cool.
So then Joe just like,
yeah, Joe and Viviane.
What do you think?
don't know. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what Viviane would reasonably do with that information.
I think it's time to start a rumor.
What? The thing is, like, you gotta figure out. I'd probably also mention, like, we gotta make sure that he doesn't tie this back to me.
That's why you start with the servants.
Oh.
Yes, give a little bit to the servants. And then they spread it to like wildfire.
What were you saying, Emily?
A true betrayal.
Oof.
Classic nobles.
I mean, she doesn't know Marguerite. She has no stake in this. So
I mean,
I was betrayed by Marco Tisby.
I didn't give you. I didn't give a name. That's what I said. I said I wouldn't tell it was you.
The problem is, if this starts spreading, I think eventually
there's like 3 people to choose from. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
and plus the problem is that Kleber knows exactly who it is, exactly. And if he's dangerous, that's the thing.
I mean, here's the thing: the rumor already existed,
but it was like squashed for a while. Like nobody was talking about it anymore until you brought it up again. So
it's been 4.5 years at least.
And now it's not just a rumor. Now it's a confirmed rumor by multiple sources. So
we have to spin it in a way of the recent planned nuptials have sparked up a old rumor.
So I think the way, I don't know, Viviane, however you want to go about this, but let's see, what do I have here? I don't have Gossip Wise, unfortunately.
Guess who does?
Marguerite.
She's not gonna help.
Joe goes to Marguerite not knowing who she is. So I last around and you're really good with gossip. Could you help me spread this rumor?
Could you help me spread this rumor? I do have Streetwise and Citywise, but I don't think that's gonna help me here. I don't know. And plus, it's not my goal, so it's whatever Viviane wants to do. But
hey, Kayla, can we take a quick break?
I mean, we're about done here.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's just kind of wrapping up this conversation and what you want to do next, and then
I'll be right back.
Yeah, Artha.
I think Viviane needs to have like one more scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know what like she wants to do next, because the thing is, like, Viviane definitely wouldn't be the kind of person to start that rumor.
Right.
First of all, she would have to have Joe translate it to whoever she's talking to.
Yeah.
Second of all, she's just not the type of person that people expect gossip from. So it would like seem unnatural coming from her, especially since it's about the person that she's supposed to marry.
It'd be pretty suspicious.
So.
I mean, you could also just say, like, you could just straight up go to your parents and be like, kind of lie, kind of not, and be like, hey, like, I heard this rumor, and this is why I'm struggling to say yes to him.
Okay, what would be your intent in a situation like that?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
I mean, to get my parents to not force me into a marriage with him.
I mean, just having that snippet of a rumor allow that intent is very, very difficult.
Okay.
You could get a smaller portion of that, right? Like you could say, hey, Dad, I heard this rumor. Could you look into it for me?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's something you could do.
How would she have overheard it? That's my one question.
Oh, I wouldn't have.
Well, it would be.
Joe would have overheard it.
Yeah, you say that Joe is
right. I'd have to go with her and like
overheard the person talking about it, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that your plan?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So y'all have dinner that night. And right, it's normal, awkward formal dinner with your family. Your mother makes conversation with you. Your father doesn't really pay attention to you, except to kind of give you dirty looks, basically. Just kind of like have a stern face on the whole time.
What a family.
I know, exactly. And he is, just, and one thing I'm actually curious about, Viviane, would you make an empathy test for me? I think there's something that you could notice.
Okay.
Up to. And Joe, actually, you could add a dice to this if you wanted to, if you were helping in terms of like noticing.
I don't have empathy, but
well, it's because at this point you're just giving her a will dice.
Oh, okay, sure. So, yeah, I mean, might as well.
So one modifier.
Yep. Up to.
No.
You could spend one fate and reroll a fail dice.
I will do that.
Okay.
What's that roll again?
It should be /R /R space 1d6 greater than 4 !
Okay.
Yep, one success. That's all you needed. Mark a routine bubble for empathy. So Viviane, you notice that your father is more quiet than usual at dinner tonight. And the only really there's at one point he kind of makes when he like drinks some of his wine, he makes a grimace and then kind of like coughs a bit into his napkin and then just like kind of wipes something away and then your mom like puts a hand on his arm and then gives him a look and then he says and then goes back to the dinner.
Oh no, I'm sad.
Daddy's sick.
Even though he didn't like me. Oh, okay. Gosh.
Just doing my job.
Yep, making me suffer.
Hey, but if he's dead, that'll make this easier, right?
Viviane, you have a whole garden at your disposal.
That I can use to help him.
True, absolutely true.
Real question is, if she married him, then that would make Kleber immediately like the Lord of the House, wouldn't it?
No.
Okay. No, but if he was dead.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the houses at that point are basically going to merge, so.
So that could be a motivation for wanting to marry me off. It's like, oh, I'm going to die. I should.
And, I mean, and Viviane, I think you realize that, right? As you kind of think about that, you're like, oh boy, like most of his motivation is probably just like, I'm dying and I want to make sure my daughter is looked after when I'm gone.
And wife, yeah.
And my wife, yeah.
Gosh. Why?
What'd you do?
I don't know. Gosh. I legitimately don't know.
Like, are you going to still try to get him to spread the rumor for you? Or are you just going to leave it for now?
I think for now she's just going to leave it.
Yeah, so that's the thing we see, right? That's the last shot is just you noticing this fact. And us as the audience understanding what's going on. And then we see Viviane, like, we know that this was Viviane's plan, was to bring it up at dinner, and then the whole dinner passes and she just doesn't.
Yeah, and I think Joe afterwards is like, said nothing?
And yeah, she just says, not yet.
Oh,
well, don't wait too long.
So good.
Says, I know.
The drama. Awesome. All right. Well, there you go. I think that's the close of our episode. Let's give some Artha out, and then we'll get out of here. That was a great episode. Things are really starting to ramp up for this now.
I met someone.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Caleb. I think I rolled I rolled some fate dice, but I don't remember on what. It was in when I was trying to break down the door.
Would have been brawling.
Okay, I wasn't sure but I'm not sure why I rolled them. Is the thing, or rolled it? Oh, it was the murder wise. Wait, I'm confused.
No, it would have been. Yeah, it was the murder wise. Yep. So you spent a fate on the murder wise.
But
because it was a link test. That's why. Because you needed an extra success.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it goes on murder wise.
Yep.
Then.
1 fate on murder wise. Yep.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm keeping track of my fate because I don't remember.
I just put it in before I even roll to make sure I don't.
I forgot it was a thing until afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, I should do that." And then I realized I was missing one.
I'm totally loving this because I am definitely seeing like deeds points worthy things in the future for like all of these characters now. Like it's there. Like I can see it in the future. I'm really excited for us to actually get.
When
to
I
those
become
points.
a good person.
Exactly right. When you marry Mr. Rowan Darcy for the sake of your daughter, like. I know. I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying that would be a trigger.
Viviane is not becoming a feminist witch.
Right.
Just putting that out there.
Some roles that happen.
But is there a chance that Viviane could like marry Kleber for the sake of her house?
I don't know.
Right? Yeah. That would be deedsworthy, right? And this is what you have to consider, right? Your character can continue to just stick to their guns the entire story, but if you do that, you will probably eventually run across a roadblock, and you'll be like, well, my character has to change. And a lot of times, it's worth it to just kind of think about, like, okay, what's an arc that I could have here, and maybe eventually lead to a deeds point, because you can game this thing. That's what it's there for. So, yeah. Got to keep all that stuff in mind. All right, Marco Tisby, let's give you some fate and stuff.
Okay, well, I tried to find out what happened to Farron.
Yep. So you can get a fate there.
You're
working on proving you're the right man for the job. You've been doing some good detective work.
So that's a fate?
Yep.
I did investigate Kleber.
To see why he's such a butt face, did you
that was just to put there as kind of
what was the actual like goal part of that?
It was to investigate Kleber to kind of figure out what was happening, like with the rumor.
Yeah, you did it. So persona
figured out a facet of how he is a butt face.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
there we go. The instincts one, I did kind of. I didn't end up using the knife, but I did have it on me. But I was like, no, this isn't going to work. Is that anything?
No. Basically, if for like, I always have a knife on me. If you like get into a situation where you're like, oh, I always have a knife on me, I guess I'm going to use it, and I probably shouldn't, but I do have it, and it's tempting. That's the sort of situation you get a fate point for.
So then I can't always make sure no one's in the room for the fact that I was like scouting out to make sure no one was going to watch me break into this house.
No.
Okay.
And a lot of these are like, basically your 3 beliefs are mostly good, or sorry, instincts. They're mostly good instincts for you that you can always call upon if you're like,
okay,
I need an alibi. Oh, I always have an alibi ready. I could get to make a roll for this, right? The ones that are written that are helpful to you will be less likely to get you fate, but they're helpful to you in other ways. So
okay. So then there's 2 fate, 1 persona.
Yep. I mean, your traits can give you stuff too.
I know, but
yeah,
did they?
Yes.
Well, the drop dead gorgeous kind of.
Exactly, drop dead gorgeous give you a fate. There's a whole weird thing there. And honestly, I'm gonna give you a fate for rabble rouser too, because I mean, stirring up the whole rumor mill, like you're causing a lot of trouble here ultimately. So I'm gonna give you a fate for that too.
Wait, would this give me? No, I don't think would shrewd.
It didn't like complicate the story or give you into trouble or anything like that necessarily.
Did the die traits help? The jaded keeping me from succumbing to the temptations of...
I mean, I don't think that's fate point worthy exactly. That was all part of the drop dead gorgeous thing. So yeah,
that's true. So just 2 more fate then.
Yep, 2 more fate.
Okay.
Marguerite Leblanc.
Yes. I didn't actually dance in the opera at all.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, again.
Well, you practiced. You were there. You were practicing.
But I didn't make a roll or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I attempted to better understand Isabeau, and I failed. But I tried.
You got a fate.
And I'm still trying to impress Benedicta.
Yep. So you get a fate there.
Yep. And then
I'll give you a fate for I always try to flirt my way out of problems. That was fun.
oh, cool. And then
I'll give you another fate for if anyone tries to talk about my personal life. I
Deflecting.
try to deflect. Let's change the subject. Poor Mr. Darcy. He broke his heart today.
I figured out next time how I'm going to apologize to him.
Cool. Perfect.
Figure it out.
I'm excited about that. Josephine Joboulet.
Okay, I discovered the truth about the weird signs.
You did. Persona.
I did it. Yay.
Well, okay. Jocelyn did it, but you know.
Well, I mean, I helped.
I know.
I did it because I convinced Jocelyn to join me.
Mm-hmm. So you get a persona there.
I am continuing to teach Viviane, but haven't
make a
gotten
roll,
any,
yeah.
make a roll. And then nothing with my instincts. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's probably it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I got anything with my traits.
I don't think so. Yeah, I was looking at them.
I mean, Rebel Rouser maybe, because I am part of the rumor spreading kind of now too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you a fate for Rabble Rouser because I think that, and then also the thing with Viviane too. I mean, honestly, with like all men are evil and no, like that was all part of that whole like Joe being headstrong and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay, because Headstrong's another one, so do I get two?
Get two. Go ahead. Take two.
Thanks.
Viviane Auguste.
I believe someone can love me. I will find them and return the favor. Haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I just realized that these two other beliefs are kind of contradictory at the moment. I believe I owe Jo much. I will heed her advice, and I believe that Zias and I belong together. I will get Jo to help me get out of my relationship with Frederick.
I didn't heed her advice.
But you did get Jo to help you get out of your relationship with Frederick.
Yes,
so
I did.
You can get a persona there.
Cool.
I'm gonna give you a fate for always be kind, even in the face of disrespect, because
Cool.
you were kind to your father by not bringing up the rumor thing, because you're like, oh, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably it. You know what? You should. You know what, Viviane? Take 3 more fate points because you've had death on your character sheet for forever now, and you should have been getting fate points for that trait because it constantly gets you into trouble. So take 3 pity fate points there because I was totally forgetting about that trait. You just didn't write it on your sheet. Okay, and then we have extra Artha stuff, which I definitely think a few of those are going to get handed out today. Let's see here. Humor, 1 to Marco, and I think I'm going to nominate the newly inaugurated Talbot Robillard because of his thing. he gets a fate point. Everybody feel cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was trying to be funny, but yes.
Yeah.
Neither was I.
I was me trying to be funny, but in character as him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. So
I wasn't even trying to be funny when I did my part, but
exactly. But in character, it was funny. Yeah. Right skill, right time. Did anyone have the right skill at the right time to keep the story moving? Josselin Marchant certainly did.
Yeah, definitely. She had all the right skills at the right time.
Yep. She gets a fate back.
I could make an argument for myself for having etiquette to get the guy drunk.
Sure. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I was thinking maybe with like persuasion or rule of law when I was trying to get the people to like, hey, like fess up with who done it.
So
the dancer,
these are
kind
usually
of?
like obscure ones, right? So it's like
more obscure ones. Okay.
yeah, if a character has the right skill when no one else does to keep the story moving, it's moments like she happens to have obscure history, or
Gotcha.
Persuasion's pretty common. So
I was gonna say like I don't have any uncommon skills. I feel.
If murder wise ever comes like really in handy, like this is the perfect skill for this situation, when no one else does. Embodiment, when a player captures the mood of the table perfectly and further drives the story onward. Moments like great speeches, desperate decisions, or gruesome revenge. Anything like that today?
There's kind of that scene between me and Marguerite where it's like look, I get it what it's like to have like people you're trying to support. It's kind of that. That's the only thing I could think of.
I don't think that was close enough, but honestly, I think your conversation with Robillard probably earns that. I feel like you captured the mood of the table perfectly and further drove the story onward with the cool like making this guy drunk scene. Like every time you just like pour out more wine. Like I like that a lot.
What's that then?
Persona.
Okay.
And then there's just mold breaker. If a player comes to a point in the story where his beliefs, instincts, and traits conflict with the decision he must make, a direction in which he must go, and he plays out the inner turmoil.
We're kind of in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Viviane has made that decision yet. So I think she'll probably get next time probably a persona point as she continues to struggle with that decision of what to do now that she knows about her father's infirmity. So, yeah. I think you're gearing up. Viviane has had a lot of mold breaker stuff. She has a lot of conflicting traits and beliefs and stuff. So yeah, it's been good fun. Okie dokie. Well, cool stuff. Another great session of Lavender Shadows. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me, guys. Oop, I just went to the starting soon screen randomly and just exited out all of you. I had a lot of notes today, and we didn't get to basically any of them. But
classic.
But we did get to some cool ones. Actually, you know what? We got to a sizable amount of them. I just have a lot, so we got to about half of them, I think. But there's a lot of notes. But I'm really excited for the story seeds that are continuing to be shared tidbit by tidbit, and everybody's learning cool things, and there's stuff going on behind the scenes that you guys don't know about, and you guys are changing the story by the things that you're doing, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, who's this guy in the red cloak? Nobody knows.
He is Xanatos.
He is Xanatos.
I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, but who is Xanatos?
The man in the red cloak.
The man in the red cloak. Yep. It's a never-ending cycle. Okie dokie, that's it. We're out with Lavender Shadows. Adios.